There are a lot of mysteries in the Teen Titans universe. Like, how does Beast Boy turn into any animal instantly? Or why is Raven so patient with all of them? But the biggest one, how does Robin still have functioning brain cells after everything he's been through? The man has been thrown into walls, tossed out windows, hit with gold coins, blasted by lasers, and he still wakes up every morning ready to lead the team. Somewhere deep down, I think he's accepted that pain is just part of the job description. Because the way this guy keeps standing up after every hit like, yeah, I meant to do that. It's honestly inspiring. So today we're diving headfirst, much like Robin himself, into his greatest hits. Literally. Every bump, bash, and a moment that would put him into a full body cast. Cyborg decides he's tired of being the only Titan without a little buddy. So he does what any rational superhero would do. He adopts Painbot. You know, the giant murderer machine built by Brother Blood. Parenting goals, right? Robin, being Robin, insists on training Painbot. Translation, he volunteers as tribute while everyone else hides behind the furniture. A few seconds in, Painbot's metal plate comes swinging down on his head so hard it sounds like someone just rang the world's saddest church bell. He staggers around, seeing more stars than a night sky app. Meanwhile, the rest of the team finally tries to help and immediately gets captured. So, Robin, left concussed, half crumpled, and probably realizing that being the leader is just Latin for getting hit in the head first. Robin's campaign to prove to his team that he's the greatest leader ever takes a wild turn when Raven summons George Washington to teach him how it's done. Seconds later, Robin's diving out of a kitchen window like an action hero, except he lands in a bush while Washington gets airlifted by an eagle. Real fair fight. The fight lasts for a while, and Robin thinks he's won, until the ground starts to rumble and out of the ocean rises the Statue of Liberty, and George Washington is somehow piloting it? Before Robin can even process what's happening, Lady Liberty brings down her flaming torch in a massive monument bash. Robin's flattened into the dirt, probably reconsidering democracy itself, if his brain can exercise itself enough. The Titans are on a peaceful road trip, which in Robin's life means his head is about to take the scenic route to another concussion. Beast Boy kicks off a game of slug bug and lands the first hit. A friendly jab to Robin's arm. No big deal. But then Starfire joins in. She spots a bug in the window and, misunderstanding every rule of the game, socks Robin right in the face. One bug becomes two and soon she's seeing bugs everywhere. Windshield, dashboard, his forehead. Every new sighting earns Robin another punch. By the time the whole swarm covers the T-car, Starfire is enthusiastically turning his skull into a percussion instrument. Cyborg's driving, Raven's unfazed, and Beast Boy's laughing but Robin's head is entering orbit. When the dust settles, the bugs are gone, but so are at least 3 of Robin's last brain cells. Nybor starts leading the Teen Titans, and Robin immediately has an identity crisis. Suddenly, he's not the boss anymore, so he does what any emotionally stable leader would do. Joins the Bizarro Titans, the weird, backward versions of his team who actually seem to like him. At first, it's great. They cheer him on, listen to his plans. It's the healthiest relationship Robin's had in years. But the honeymoon ends fast when the Bizarro Titans remembers what Robin is actually like. The constant orders, the team charts, the motivational speeches. Yeah, they're done. That's when chaos erupts. Both teams want their preferred Robin. And poor original Robin ends up being caught in the middle. Literally. He becomes the ball in a full-on Robin ping-pong match. He's smacked, shoved, and ricocheted between 2 sets of superheroes like a stress toy that yells, "Titans, go!" every time it's hit. It's like every serve ends with another concussion. He's smacked so many times that by the end, he's basically speaking fluent Bizarro himself. In his head, it's probably like, "Me feel amazing, head not hurt." Translation, I probably have a severe concussion. The Titans invite a clown to HQ for some laughs. Unfortunately, the guy's old school with rubber chicken, squeaky shoes, the whole unfunny package. Cyborg and Beast Boy decide he needs an upgrade. After a few minor adjustments, the friendly clown transforms into a nightmare of muscle, grease paint, and violent enthusiasm. Instead of juggling balls, he's juggling Robin. The new and improved Honk 2.0 body slams him, pile drives him, and hurls him across the room like a crash test dummy with a bad attitude. Every hit follows with a honk, which somehow makes it worse. Heck, he's even squashed by the clown's heavy iron tricycle. Beast Boy and Cyborg are crying with laughter. Robin's just crying internally. By the end, his spine's realigned in all the wrong ways, and his head's honking louder than the clown. Even Raven finds that a little funny. It's a peaceful day in the Titan's backyard, and Robin's living his best life, waiting for the new issue of Clowns and Pizza. A simple pleasure. Finally, something normal. But then he spots the rest of the team building a massive metal cage. Naturally, he freaks out, because nothing says team bonding like suspicious construction projects. When he demands an explanation, they calmly tell him they're doing it because a fortune cookie told them to. Robin tries to be the voice of reason, pointing out that fortune cookies don't exactly hand out detailed blueprints for DIY prisons, but Cyborg shows him one that literally says they should build a cage. Then Beast Boy opens another cookie. His fortune? Punch Robin in the face. And he does, immediately. Starfire's next. I-beam Robin. Check. Cyborg's cookie note says, "Shablamo him with a giant metal fist." And it's done. At this point, Robin's face is basically a group project. Raven's fortune finally tells them to lock themselves in a cage and attack Robin if he resists. Which, to his credit, he does. So, they attack him, all at once. By the end, he's lying on the ground seeing stars, cookies, and maybe his ancestors. Another time, we see a squirrel steals a Titan's nuts, and no, that's not a metaphor. Naturally, this tiny rodent sparks a full-on team meltdown. Everyone's furious, plotting revenge, until they suddenly realize they're supposed to be the good guys. Violence isn't the answer. Cyborg disagrees, arguing that violence is fine if it's funny. So, to prove it, he punches Robin in the face. Sign says, not funny. Raven steps in, insisting he just didn't do it right. She winds up a massive cartoon fist and absolutely decks Robin, knocking out a few teeth still. Somehow, not funny. Then Starfire, ever the optimist, suggests that maybe repetition is key. So she picks Robin up like a training dummy and proceeds to hit him, over and over and over. Robin's crying, screaming, begging for mercy, and the others just stand there learning a very important lesson. Violence is only funny in cartoons. Although at this point, Robin has had so much head trauma at this point that maybe he thought it was hilarious. In a bold move that absolutely no one asked for, Robin decides that Titans should sell all their sentimental stuff to move forward. You know, minimalism, but with emotional damage. Predictably, it turns into a disaster, and one by one, everyone's sense of self basically gets sold on eBay. Soon, it's just Robin left, standing in front of his own memory door. But guarding it are two familiar faces, pain and regret. Yeah, he's literally gatekept by his trauma. Classic Robin. He admits he's scared to go in, but with a little nudge from Starfire, who's disguised as Jeff, because apparently this episode wasn't surreal enough, he decides to face it. What follows is both emotional and mildly concussive. Pain and regret don't just challenge him metaphorically, they deck him hard. He goes flying, probably seeing flashbacks and stars at the same time. But when the dust settles, Robin actually looks peaceful. Sure, he's got a throbbing headache, but for once, he's not fighting it. Because sometimes, facing your inner demons means getting punched by them, and still managing to smile through the dizziness. So, the Titans somehow ended up trapped inside a bottle in their own living room. Don't ask how, just Titan things. Robin, ever the hero, decides he'll be the one to break them out. He charges full speed at a cork like it's some epic action scene, only to get absolutely folded on impact. His leg bends in ways legs definitely shouldn't, and the others just kind of stare for a second. Then in true Titan logic, they decide maybe he's the key to breaking out. so they pick him up and yeet him straight at a glass until it finally shatters. Robin technically succeeds in freeing them. No, he's now lying half alive in the shards. He's not exactly celebrating, mostly because he's busy watching a few cartoon birdies fly in perfect circles above his head and thinking, didn't know we had a budget for animation like this. It's Christmas time, which means joy, cheer, and if you're Robin, another guaranteed medical emergency. Determined to save Christmas, he transforms himself into Santa Robin, stuffing his face with milk and cookies until he's at the risk of a heart disease and slapping a fake beard on his chin. The others are concerned. Robin, he's committed to the bit of saving the holiday. Cut to Christmas Eve. The sleigh's ready, the toys are packed, and Robin's brain is not. Because instead of using the door, our hero decides to dive headfirst down a chimney the size of a cereal box. He insists on doing everything the Santa way, chimney entry and all. Big mistake. His recently expanded girth locks him tight like a cork in a bottle, and Cyborg's Christmas shamblow punch doesn't help because Robin shoots down like a festive cannonball, smacks his head on every brick on the way down, and craters in the fireplace. The result? 1 broken leg, 2 black eyes, 3 cracked ribs, and at least 1 new concussion for the collection. But before he can even ho, the family's dog tackles him, and the parents join in, beating the jolly right out of him. Merry Concussmas, Robin. This time, it's St. Patrick's Day. But the Titans can't go 5 minutes without chaos. Beast Boy wishes to become a leprechaun, and the wish actually works. Suddenly, he's 2 feet tall, glittering, and obsessed with gold like it's Bitcoin in 2017. Within minutes, he's trying to fix the economy, which in Beast Boy terms means total financial collapse. Robin steps in to stop him, because of course he does. But now he's fighting a magical gremlin who can throw coins with the power of a freight train. 1 coin later, and Robin's launched straight into the road so hard his head is dragged against the asphalt. But in true Robin fashion, he groans, dusts himself off, and wobbles back onto his feet despite the head trauma. Maybe on St. Patrick's Day, you don't need just luck, but a really sturdy helmet on the side too. But this is Robin, and who needs luck or a helmet when you've got pure stubbornness holding your skull together? Nothing says team bonding like watching Sparkleface defuse a bomb together, at least until Robin, in a bold display of poor timing, turns off the TV with 1 second left on the bomb clock. Naturally, the Titans are furious. So Robin does what any good leader does when morale drops. He bribes them with cookies. Everyone cheers, until they realize there are no green cookie boxes. Apparently, that's the only flavor that matters. Beast Boy starts interrogating him like a police drama, and soon the Titans discover Robin's been hoarding the green cookies for himself. Cue all-out cookie war. Cyborg tackles him, Beast Boy lunges, and Raven just calmly says, "Get him." Within seconds, Robin's being pelted, punched, and kicked by his sugar-crazed teammates. Cyborg finally rips the box out of Robin's hands, and chaos erupts. The cookies scatter, everyone dives for them, and Raven lands the final blow, socking Robin so hard he flies across the room and slams into the elevator. This time, Robin had a sweet tooth with a loose tooth, and possibly a minor skull fracture. The list starts off harmless enough. Raven's demon dad, Trigon, randomly drops off her 3 baby half-brothers like, "Good luck, sweetie," because nothing says family bonding quite like demonic triplets at an amusement park. At first it's fine, just another chaotic Titan outing. But things start falling apart fast. The babies start crying because they lose their ice cream and balloons, which honestly, understandable, and Robin, being Robin, tries to fix things by grabbing the amusement park mascot, the same one the babies were terrified of. And that's it. The babies get so upset they fuse together into one gigantic rage-fueled demon baby. They start rampaging through the park, breathing fire, and of course, Robin is right there taking the first hit. That's what we call the concussion plus third-degree burns combo, a fan favorite. But the fun's just getting started. The Titans realize something wild. The babies calm down every time Robin gets hurt. So naturally, In the spirit of childcare, they start using him as a literal chew toy for their entertainment. He's smacked in the face in a game of Smack-a-Bat, flattened under a dodging car, and he's getting punched by his own crush, Starfire. And then, just to really drive it home, he gets launched straight into space and crashes on the moon. That's not a bump on the head, that's a NASA-certified concussion. And maybe by the time everything settles down and the babies turn back to normal, Robin's probably forgotten his own name, the team's names, and possibly the alphabet. Okay, so now we see Robin's in the gym,
proving that leadership isn't just about strategy.
It's about lifting an irresponsible amount of weight to impress your team. The bar's loaded with so many plates it looks like it's training for its own competition. At first, he's doing great. But then physics enters the chat. The bar tips to one side and before he can react, Robin's head ends up resting on the pile of weight plates. And then, crash! The upper plates slide off and drop directly onto his head, squashing it like a sponge. Cyborg and Beast Boy are probably processing the situation in 2 business days while Robin's skull is busy inventing new shapes. So after mild concussions, a few broken bones, and 1 spiritual awakening via head trauma, as long as the team's still standing and the mission's still on, he'll keep yelling until his next concussion.
Titans, go!